famous Kung Fu master once said by the name of the Master Fu. The past is history, the future is a mystery, the present is a gift. As we strive for our goals, as we see every day as a new chance to achieve what we aim for, yes, our failures in the past may not be up to what we want, may not be up to what we aspire for, but it gives us a chance to look back at that story, at that history, at our story that we have created on our own. Because it is in what we have created, what we aspire for, is not something that society defines for us, but as my partner has said, it is something that you and each and every one of us aspire and define it to be. We tell you that on our side, on our bench, we tell you that we give you that chance to be able to shape that story, to be able to achieve all these things through hard work, in which on their side of the house, they give the poor and the underprivileged no chance to do so. When taking a look at this debate, we take a look at two main issues, right? The first issue is where best are people able to pursue that happiness, and it is through this hard work. And second, where innovation and humans will be able to grow better in the narrative at the end of the day. But then the rebuttals will then be incorporated as we analyze the whole debate, right? So firstly, on the first issue, on where best are people able to pursue their happiness, coming from the opening bench, they tell us that there are people who are vulnerable because then they are not able to achieve their goals and dreams because they do not have the resources to do so. We tell you that firstly, not working hard does not mean not having aspirations. Because on both sides of the house, we see and we acknowledge that people will continue to have aspirations. Whether it may be for the poor, as simple as being able to provide food for their family, or sending your children to school, or for the rich and having a successful business, or climbing up the corporate ladder. By not working hard, it does not lessen these aspirations, because these aspirations will always exist at the end of the day. Why? Firstly, because societal influences around them, they will always see people who are actually able to achieve more. People are naturally comparative with one another. They would naturally compare themselves as having lesser than other people. And secondly, people have the natural intuitiveness to be able to want to improve their life. Thus, whether they work hard or not work hard, they will naturally aspire for something than their current stature. Yes?
But the narrative that hard work pays off leads to less questioning of structural inequality, like other factors that causes structural inequality, because there's an overwhelming attesting of why certain people have paid off into the hard work as opposed to external factors.
But on your side of the house, you paint the picture that hard work at the end of the day is something that makes all these poor people suffer. That suddenly, by taking out hard work, all of these causes of inequality suddenly disappear. But the truth is, even if you do remove hard work, these people will still continue to suffer, and now you are removing the single tool that these poor people have to be able to get out of that poverty, to be able to get out of that difficulty. We tell you that working hard may not be all that maybe all that these poor people have, because they are not actually gifted with resources and with the money that they present the rich to have. So without hard work, these people will not have anything to achieve these goals with, and would succumb to just staying poor at the end of the day. Coming from closing, they tell us that hard work is associated with suffering and sacrifice. True, government portrays, right, that the rich only are able to achieve anything because of the advantages that they are naturally given with. We tell you that while they may be gifted with these advantages, we tell you that they too sacrifice and work hard in their own way. May it not be the same way as the poor sacrifice or are affected. May it not be physical labor, may it not be physical tiredness. They do sacrifice in their own way, whether it may be their relationships with other people, may it be psychological suffering. We tell you that suffering and sacrifice is not one-dimensional, that all people, in the pursuit of whatever they aspire for, whether they work hard for it or not, suffer in whatever shape or form. That is why what they argue earlier is something that is just mutually present. We tell you that working hard does not mean working smart. We tell you that we can still utilize the advantages, whether you may be poor or rich, because you would have your own advantages, whether they be the talent, your relationships, your rich or your influence that you can actually use in combination with working hard to be able to achieve that growth. It is unlikely that you have totally nothing to be able to achieve whatever you aspire for at the end of the day, and you can do adjust each and every single time your goal because you yourself are learning from your past experiences. They also tell us, coming from closing, that people will not always succeed and get compared to those who succeeded, right? They tell us that they tell you that when you're not, the poor will not be or not able to succeed because they don't work hard enough as those who are rich or those who are famous. They tell us that it's a way to rationalize why minorities fail. Yes, these poor people may not succeed. In fact, if not all, many, both rich and poor, may not achieve the goals that they have set out initially at the start of their life. But we tell you, but here we don't see on their side of how this will suddenly remove the aspirations that these people have, tying back again to the aspirations aspect, that suddenly, just because there is a high chance of failure, people will suddenly stop aspiring to be better, to do better. We tell you that if poor people do not have anything to compare to the rich and privileged, so that what else can they do, right? What else will they have to hold if not hard work? At least on our side of the house, we give these people a chance to achieve their goals. Closing government says that closing government can't have their cake and eat it too. There's a limited bandwidth and capacity for people to understand. That's why it's called a narrative, because it's seen as a norm or a standard. Why do we take this issue? Because firstly, it is only from our side that we are able to tie it back onto the narrative. And it is only on our side of the house that we discuss the second issue on how people will continue to innovate and grow better as they learn from each and every experience. And for that, we are proud to oppose.